when Dolph Ziggler fought who was he working, Glenn?
Miz. So they
and the pay-per-view you mean on Backlash?
Yep.
Yeah.
Did you see the opening spot of the match?
Yes.
Yeah. Like, dude, they're doing the Punk fight.
Yeah, that's tremendous.
Did you what did you so what's your take on that? Like what's your take? Is it mad respect, or is it what is it? What's your take on what Punk did?
Oh yeah, bro. Look, we talked about that, and we predicted it. What else was going to happen?
The equivalent of it would have been like, like if your brother-in-law Jacob, like if you taught him how to wrestle and like he knew you, and like instead of like basically like saying, hey, let me get you on this indie show. You use your influence to say, hey, let me get you on Raw.
Right.
No, not even Raw. Let me get you on the pay-per-view.
WrestleMania.
WrestleMania. Yeah, and we're going to put you out there, and we're going to put you against, like, Bray Wyatt.
Right.
Okay, right? It's like, we know you're a worker, or like, I'm sure Konnan's taught you how to wrestle.
Konnan trained you,
but but that's going to look brutal. He's going to like Bray Wyatt's. Even if it's a work, he's going to look like he's killing him. This is the one thing that I got out of this. Okay, and the one word that just glaringly like sticks out like a sore thumb in bright lights, like it's on a Vegas billboard. Right? I'm going to read you the definition of it. Okay, delusional, having false or unrealistic beliefs or opinions. Maintaining fixed false beliefs even when confronted with facts, usually as a result of mental illness. Mm-hmm. Okay? That's the definition of delusional. When I watched that fight and think that like Punk like left a very lucrative paying job at WWE, went into UFC and trained hard for 2 years.
2 years?
And actually thought 2 years. And actually thought that he was going to beat a UFC fighter. And like came out of the fight after getting just squat. I mean, that fight right there was as lopsided, to take away one punch knockout, but for a choke out, a finish, that was as lopsided.
Bro, you know what I think happened, and we've all done this. He talked himself into something. He was mad at the way he was being treated. Okay, he obviously didn't get along with Hunter, and he told him to his face. And, the people wanted CM Punk to be pushed as a number one guy, and the company wasn't ready to do it. He left pissed off, and I think he wanted to prove a point to himself and everybody else that he could make it in UFC. And I have to believe, maybe, I'm not sure, that once he got in there, he was like, it's too late, bro. I'm already this deep in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But let me tell you.
He went out there and he just froze, and they ate him up. And I would also like to say that I thought his post-match speech was better than the whole fight.
His post-match speech was amazing, man. I think that's going to be the takeaway. You know what I mean?
Would you use that?
He still wants to keep going?
Would you use that speech at the next gathering when they have the juggalettes contest with the one girl that had the society disorder?
100%, man. I thought that was a great promo, man.
Enough of fans, okay, have bought into the best in the world thing.
Sure.
Okay, that's completely subjective and argumentative. You could argue because there's, in my opinion, while AJ, if he was in the AJ Styles has always been better than CM Punk. That's my personal opinion. I've worked AJ. I've seen AJ grow through wrestling. AJ to me is better and has always been better than Punk. Number two, bro, this is a guy that like don't forget. He was bitching and arguing over like he wanted to go over the Undertaker. Okay,
but it was think about it though. In hindsight,
I am thinking about it. Think about like he actually thought. Now that's when people was about the word delusional.
I think they should have done it that way.
How are you going to sell a 195-pound guy that didn't look like he worked out and stuff, and just said, I was going to beat the Undertaker.
Because he's CM Punk. He's the best in the world. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's delusional.
But it's a show. You know what I mean? And that's his character. His character can do anything, just like Shawn Michaels could slay Sid Vicious.
Let's face the facts. They let a guy that wasn't trained to fight because he was popular in another sport. They let him go. Based on his popularity, they let him fight.
Right. But he did. It's not like he's untrained. He was untrained at the beginning, so to speak. He had done, whatever various stuff with the Gracies and stuff, I believe. But yeah, again, not formal training until I guess this UFC.
Are you a CM Punk fan? Like when he was a wrestler?
Me, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we can see that. Okay,
that's what I'm saying.
Obviously, you got to give him props because he went in there and did it. A lot of talk about it and they don't do. So we give him credit for that.
And he got to do it.
Had the balls to do it.
Right.
But still,
right. It was
my thing. I just can't. Word just got. It's one of the most glaring cases of delusion I've ever seen in my life.
Any comments, Disco or Joe?
Yeah, I got comments. Joe, you go first.
Yeah, I agree with both you guys. The first round, it looked almost competitive at first. He scored a takedown and stuff. He was able to avoid some of the punches, but yeah, like Shane said, once he lost his wind, it never came back to him. It just seemed like he was just out there to survive, which he did. But at times it was pretty uncomfortable as a fan to watch him take that kind of beating. And he could go do some commentary. I know he does comic book stuff, so there's other things going on he could do. But I don't think anybody wants to see that again. And the Jackson guy, he said later that he was looking to his corner for instructions when he was doing that look away punch. And I don't buy that. So I think he knows he has heat with Dana White now, and he's trying to cover it up and get another fight in UFC.
Di.
All right, I'm gonna be. You know me. I'm gonna be as brutally honest as I can because I think it would hurt my credibility if I didn't.
And we haven't been honest.
I will say, I thought Punk looked like the worst fighter that's ever fought in the UFC. What skill level he is. He didn't look like he had the athleticism needed to do this. He looked like he was struggling with especially like Shane nailed on the head. When your technique, your cardio goes, your technique starts going. But when your technique isn't good to begin with, it's like that was glaring because in the third round, he looked like he did like in the first fight, like he didn't belong in the ring. He didn't belong in there. I will say this: the only quality that came out of this was that he had a lot of heart. He took some good. He got beat up.
Yeah.
He didn't quit. That's literally the only silver lining you could find in it because he did not look like he belonged in there, and the other guy stunk too.
Right. I wouldn't disagree with anything you just said.
He's got guts. He had guts to do it, but you could tell that just the way the energy in the arena changed from the entrance to the end of the fight it became like the first one. It became difficult to watch.
I would like to say that I have a feeling that if you don't wear that dress on the cruise, you're going to look a lot like CM Punk.